Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I guess depending on what time you're joining me at. This is CMG Talk. This is Catherine Gallagher. And for many of you who have listened to my episodes and my podcast, you'll know that for over 25 years, and actually probably for nearer 30, I have worked in the psychological field. I am a psychological ambassador, pretty much top in my field, and I have worked with literally tens of thousands of clients on psychological well-being. I'm known, and I guess I'm known for helping people to work on being healthier psychologically. And many of my clients, result coach clients, my psychological clients will say that the one thing they find that I am good at is to help them make sense of, unpack and make sense of things that they maybe are struggling with. I'm good at motivating, that's what they tell me. And actually in my life, people often say, "Are you always so positive?" The answer to that, of course, is no. Right? But I'm very good at turning things around. Right? I have worked on that. Right? It's not something that comes naturally to people. People that are optimistic or people that are good at turning things around, reframing, reshaping things, work on it, have had to work on it. Right? We're not born a particular way. We learn to be. And often we learn through experiences and we learn and become because it's a choice. And I'm writing training courses and I'm about to do, after the holiday time, I'm about to do some talks and speak talks as they're called on various subjects like this. Can you ever have a redo, go back on things? If you feel that you have had a situation where you want to turn things around, is it ever too late? Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day and they were talking about a relationship and whether to go back. And I said, can you ever really go back? Or is it learning what you know now and moving forward with that new knowledge? And they said, I like that, because the reason why they were struggling to re-enter the relationship was they didn't want to lose face. Because when the relationship had ended, they said, I can say this, so I'm not saying anything that they didn't know I was going to talk about. They said that when the relationship ended, you know that situation where you end a relationship and you kind of galvanise support, your friends, your people, and they say, you deserve better. I can't believe that happened to you. Right? Now, I'm sure many, many people, if you're listening to this, will say, yes, I remember a situation like that. And we're, my friends, my family, my loved ones, people that know me, that love me, were basically, I was looking for them to be on my side. Some might have been and some maybe not as much, right? But you look for people to say, you're the best, right? And regardless, you just want them to say, I've got your back, I'm with you, I'm for you. And even though you might not have been perfect in the situation, maybe you were, you're saying, Catherine, actually I was, right? But often we just want somebody to say, yeah, that's terrible. Can't believe you're treated like that. You're the king, you're the queen, you should have been treated better. And that was unacceptable. Now, the minute that we pin our mast to the sail, right, we decide that's it, it's done, it's dusted, that person's not for me, and we make that decision, it's very difficult often for people to then see that possibility when it all calms down, the dust settles. People often then have, whether it's pride whether they don't want to lose face, whether it's, how can I go back into a relationship? Or can I go back with this person? I guess it depends on what was going on in the relationship. Have there been, or has it been, a knee-jerk reaction? A situation where it got out of hand, either one or both people in the relationship, decided, heated moment, that's it, I'm out. And that's one thing I always say in couple work. You should never say, I'm done, I'm out, it's over, unless it's permanent. When somebody gets up and walks out, unless it's a discussion to say, I'm taking a breath, I'm taking a breather, I'm taking time away, if you get up and leave, something changes in the dynamic, doesn't it? Can you revisit? Can you go back? Is it ever too late? Now, whether it's because I'm a romantic, and I don't think it is just because I'm a romantic, right? Or whether it's because I do believe that with communication, honest, genuine communication and ownership and deep respect and responsibility, of course, we can go back in and have a relationship, reignite and start a relationship, providing lessons have been learned, responsibility and accountability has been taken, and that behaviour will not be repeated. The sorry, not sorry is where a child does that sorry, but they keep repeating the same behaviour, and that's a very childlike behaviour. That's not what we do as grown-ups and adults. Would you agree? How many times do we have somebody who reluctantly tells us, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, or, okay, well, I'm sorry, but part of you, deep down, in your intuition, in your gut, in your belly, you kind of feel as if, I'm not really sure, I'm not feeling it. Not really sure if you really mean that. Because deep down, there's part of you saying, I don't know if it is true. I actually got deep reservations because there's part of me is telling myself that you could do it again. When we feel that an apology is not a genuine contrite, real genuine apology, when we feel that there could be, and we're risking that vulnerability of some repeating, they're a repeat offender, right? They could do it again. We hold back. And we never fully engage back in that friendship or relationship. Or that family dynamic because we never really fully trust. It takes a second to give trust and a lifetime to rebuild it when it's broken. It really does. If you're re-engaging back in to a situation, then there really needs to be honour, respect, truthfulness, and an absolute leap of faith. But we need to feel there's a connection, genuineness, and trust that lessons have been learned. It won't be repeated. We have grown from this. There are other situations, aren't there, in life where often we don't consider a chance to reconnect or to do over. Why is that? Well, it could be because we see it as it's a missed opportunity. To do that again, it would need to be the right conditions, the right time, in the right way, and that time has gone. Now I'm a great one for believing, and actually in life, I've experienced that and saw it many, many, many times, where life has a way of representing. It presents back opportunities. If we haven't learned something, life keeps hitting us in the face, right? This is life, right? It presents back and says, you haven't learned this. People say to me, why do I keep doing this? Because you haven't learned. You keep repeating because you haven't got it yet. You haven't grown, you haven't learned, you keep repeating the same behaviours. You keep getting the same results because you keep doing the same thing. You need to change your script, you need to change your behaviours to get a different outcome. If we want to redo something, then we need to be prepared to truly unpack it and to ask ourselves, why? What's the purpose of redoing this? What am I going to gain from it? Sometimes it's things like when I work with students and they maybe talk to me about things like redoing exams. They need to do that. The purpose is that they want to get ahead in life. They want to gain qualifications. It's something that they've set themselves a challenge. There's a purpose, whether it's a career, opportunities for jobs, adventure in life. If we find a purpose, we find our driver, that drive, that passion in life. Redoing something. Sometimes we redo it because we're a perfectionist. It's not good enough. That's not the standard. That's not what I expect of myself. I'm redoing it for myself. If we're redoing it as a perfectionist, is it reasonable expectations, or is it that we're never contented? Are we stuck in a loop of constantly doing, but it's never good enough? Is it healthy or an unhealthy pattern? Redoing something can help us grow, can help us learn, can help us understand what worked, what didn't work, and also help us to move forward and grow from that experience, providing we're doing it in a way that's actually helping us, nurturing ourselves, challenging ourselves in a healthy way. Think about things that you might have redone in your life. So whether we redo things, whether we're looking at going back to something, revisiting something, or whether it's something that we have done in our life that we go back to learn from, or we go back into because we realise we've made a mistake. Is it ever too late? That's often a question I'm asked. Do you think it's too late? Is it ever too late? I guess we determine that. We determine, don't we, whether we feel it's too late. But we never know if it's to do with other people, how they will react if we decide that it's worth the risk. Whether or not other people will be open to our approach. It doesn't have to be a romantic situation. It can be, a job situation. You might have accepted a job, turned it down, and then said, no, actually it is what I want, and went back for it, for that job or that opportunity. It might have been an opportunity that it was an adventure and you said no, and then you talked yourself out of it, and then you decided, actually, I am going to do it. Is it ever too late? Never ever. We're guided within ourselves. And often if we sit and be mindfully present and listen to our own intuition and listen to what feels within ourselves, what feels is going to help us to become the best version of ourselves. Surely that can help us make those decisions. Many of the hurdles we put in our way come from and stem from our internal talk, our unhelpful thinking processes, catastrophizing, minimalising things when we need to take action, overlooking the positives and only seeing the negatives, filtering and not seeing what we need to be seeing, only seeing what we want to see, sifting through, which our brain does. It sifts through and often eliminates crucial information. What can help us to really understand and make decisions when we're asking ourselves in decision making is because our brain processes the written and thinking word differently if you write things down, because it helps us to see things more clearly. Is a reflective diary good for you? Is writing down, mapping down what you're thinking and how to process things, does that help you? I often will help people create a really extensive, in-depth way of mapping out what they want to do. They start from where they are and they create where and what their vision is. And often it starts with just a thought, an idea and a concept. They're often really inspired and quite surprised about how much information can come from bouncing off with a professional. And they'll often say, I never thought I would get so much from this particular exercise. But you can do that yourself by writing down, where am I right now? What do I want to have happen? That's one of the most significant questions that I can ask someone. What do you want to have happen? People do the knee-jerk reaction, I don't know. But if we truly then challenge ourselves and say, but supposing I did, imagine, go with it, sit with it, allow yourself to dream. Don't think about practicalities. Allow your mind to go with whatever. The practicalities can come later. Creating your dreams into reality, which is one of my logos, if you like, which I set down and registered, if you like, over 25 years ago. And being able to do that, there's a formula for that. I work with my clients creating that and learning how to bring things into realization. But you have to start somewhere. Comes with an idea, a thought, a feeling, an idea, a concept. Is it ever too late? You decide. whether it's ever too late. It's about making choices in life, surely, isn't it? Life is about the choices we make. And whether or not we sit comfortably with the choices we make, whether we look back with regrets, or do we decide that actually life is too short to have regrets? I've made the choice. The choice was the best choice I could make at that time. And it was the best decision with everything that I knew at that time. So why would I regret what I did? Giving ourselves that inner peace, holding ourselves accountable when we need to, and being respectful with ourselves, to ourselves, and to those around us is important. Is it ever too late? What do you think? Getting unstuck with things that are holding us back is important. It's healthy. If you're unhappy with something in your life right now, ask yourself, are you being proactive enough in making the changes necessary? And what could you do? What simple step could you do to make a change? Small things can make a real difference in life. Whatever it is that you're unhappy about. And if you're genuinely in a really good place, do you value it? Do you appreciate it? Do you recognise and give gratitude for everything that you have? I was doing some clinical work earlier, and at the end I was catching up on some of my contacts and some messages that had been given to me, and I saw this message and it said, right now I don't want anything to change because I recognise that what I have right now is everything, not just what I need, it's everything I want as well. And I know I can want things, but these are just things that I want. But how lucky am I to have everything I need that makes me healthy and makes me whole, and also have everything that I want. So please don't change anything. Just let everything stay the way it is, because I have everything I want and everything I need. Now, it happened to be the person's birthday, and somebody had said, oh, happy birthday, I hope you get everything that you want. And they were basically saying, I've got everything I want, but more importantly, I've got everything that I need. How lucky am I to have everything I want and everything I need right now? I just want everything to stay just as it is. Now that's someone who's been fully present, mindfully present, really grateful and giving real gratitude to what they've had. And this particular individual recognises that life changes, life can change, but they want to be fully in the moment, appreciating just how it is. And that's a gift. That's a real gift, to value what you have. There might have been things that we have and things that we've had that we've lost, and we might feel deep sadness and pain about that. But if we can't recognise the good that we have currently, we miss out. If we're constantly yearning for the things that we've lost. If we can value and treasure the things that we have and fully appreciate, we make the most of everything that we have. It doesn't mean to say that we don't recognise that there are things we don't have, and there are still things that we would like to have, and we're still working towards those things. But we need to not lose sight of the good that's right now in our life. It's not until we don't have the good in our life that we then wish we'd appreciated it most. Isn't that just the case? Do I have? Do I have not? Is it ever too late? Never ever. What do you think? So this is just a reflective episode that I'm putting on just now because of the time of year. And many people at this time of year are doing lots of reflection, regardless of whether you have a faith or not, regardless of a belief system or not. There's lots of people doing lots of reflections. And I was talking to people, and I've talked to people of different faiths, different belief systems, whether they've had a religious faith or spiritual faith or different ideologies. And lots of the conversations in my trainings and also in my work, my clinical work and coaching work, people have talked to me a lot over the last, few weeks about regrets or about moving forward or it being too late or moving past things, being stuck. And there's been lots of reflection going on. And someone had said to me, could you talk on this? Because I'd like to listen to you talking on it. Not because necessarily I have any greater insights than many people would have. And I'm sure you've got your thoughts and greater insights too. And it's always joyful for me when people send me messages and update me in their thoughts and thinking too, because that's really what it's all about in life, isn't it? It's about shared understandings and insights. Being able to be brave and courageous enough to live our life authentically and not being afraid to challenge and to move forward and to take things. And if you have to revisit something because we feel it's not done, it's something we still want to have in our life, providing it's healthy. Providing it's healthy. And also being courageous to seek the things in our life that we feel that is meant for us. As human beings, we need to feel our life has purpose. And one of the most important things that we can ever do in life is to feel that we're being fulfilled. There are different roles in life that give us a sense of fulfillment and a sense of belonging. Being within a family, being within a relationship, being within friendships, community, having a sense that we're valued, appreciated. And that comes in different forms, whether it's within a workplace or within a retirement community or wherever you belong. We need to feel we belong in some way. How do you, right now, when you reflect on where you are in your life, how do you feel your life is being as fulfilled as it needs to be? Is there things you feel that you do well? And do you give yourself that validation? Do you recognise and appreciate just what you do well? Do you give yourself that? Because that's so important. Because that's what motivates us when we recognise what we're achieving. And do you also hold yourself accountable for things you could do better? Because unless we're honest and real about it, then we never really make the changes we need to make. We make excuses instead, right? And people never call them excuses, they always call them reasons and justifications, right? So when I ask people, what's your reason or justification? They will tell me bountiful reasons and justifications. But often there's a fear that stops us making change. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, not getting it right, doubting, limiting self-beliefs. We set those though. We set those limiting self-beliefs. But we can crush them. We can overcome them. We can challenge them. We can grow from them. We can learn. And small changes make a big difference. We have to start somewhere, and just a small step every day just makes an immense difference as they build up. So deciding and making those decisions is really important. And asking yourself, is there anything that you need to change that would give you a most fulfilling life? Connecting more, communicating more, not being as isolated, having something that gives you a fulfilling life more, hobby or interest, taking exercise, eating better, more nutritionally, forgiving and not holding on to grudges, harbouring things. There are so many things that we can do as human beings that can hinder us, hold us back, and we justify it, and we make reasons for it. And then, when a push comes to shove, when a crisis hits us, it all dissipates and it becomes pretty much nonsensical. It doesn't matter. It pales into significance when a crisis hits us. I always say to people, ask yourself, in the whole scheme of things, will this really matter? The reason why we often hold on to it is because we don't want to lose face. We don't want to lose face. We don't want to be judged, seen as weak. You don't want to give in. But it's only us that it holds us back. We have absolutely no control over how it's going to be received if we approach someone else, others. But we do it for ourselves. We don't do it for the response. We free yourself up. That's why it's never too late. It's never too late. Regardless of the response we get, we do it for ourselves, so we can never go wrong. Hope that's been helpful. Have an amazing break if you're having one, and if not, take good care of yourself. And remember, if you want to communicate with me, you can communicate with me, as always, at stepupcmg@xln.co.uk. And if you've enjoyed listening to this talk, there will be more. You have the opportunity to join me in some talks coming up on all different subjects. I've had a whole list of subjects that people have been asking me to talk on, only because I guess I've done global mental health trainings for the last 2 decades, and many people say they quite enjoy listening to me talking on them, because I've been supporting thousands of clients, tens of thousands of clients over many, many years. And people say that they quite like hearing me talking about different subjects. So if you're interested in listening into them, then register with me and I can send you a link. It's stepupcmg@xln.co.uk. Okay, take good care and good to talk. Until next time, Catherine Gallagher here. Like, share and download. And if you don't want to miss out on any of the episodes coming up, remember to subscribe. Any problems with liking, sharing, download or subscribing, message me and I'll resolve it for you. Take good care. Bye for now.